Alright, this video is blind guy garage, oops. Doing what I do. Valve lash adjustment on a single cylinder Bridge and Stratton. 19 horsepower intake well, whatever, single cylinder intake, 19 horsepower. See what it is. 4 bolts come out the valve cover. I like to pull it and go straight underneath because a little bit of oil is going to come out. Alright, so this is either going to be a 5/8 or a 9/16. Nope, 9/16 is no go. 5/8-ish. So there's a star bit off inside there, and that sets the depth of this pivot ball here. And what you do, and it's just a little looser than I'd like it to be. Yeah, and sometimes when you have these loose rocker arms, loose valves, you'll have issue with hard starting. You don't want to start up good, and when it does start up, one kind of wants to backfire and carry on, and it just doesn't do a good job. And you really don't notice a power loss per se. It's just more of it's more of it wants to backfire and carry on while you're trying to mow, or while it's not under load. Sometimes when they're not under load, they do it worse. This one does it when it's not under load. So now that came loose. You're supposed to adjust them to 3 to 4 thousandths or something like that. I just adjust them at an itty bitty bit loose when they're cold, because where my eyes don't work good, I can't see the dadgum. I can't see the feeler gauges and stuff. So you tighten your center part up as tight as you can get it, and then you tighten your nut or your pivot, which is this part's what actually the rocker arm is pushed up against in the ride zone. So you tighten it up. You just do German spec on this stuff. You know, that's good and tight. And then see, this valve is pushing down, so I know this one is at full rest. This is, on these, the top valve is your exhaust, and the bottom valve here is your intake. And they're not too terribly hard to turn. Really loose intake valve. That might be why she's coughing back through the intake and stuff, because this motor is pretty new. There's my exhaust stroke. So I know I got my intake stroke. I know my intake valve's at full rest, and we got a lot of play in that. So what I'm going to do, again, put the star bit in there. Torx, I think, is the technical term for that. I call it star bit. Anyway, it kind of pops loose unless they've been together for a really long time. Run it a little bit less. Alright, I'm going to go about right yonder. Right to yonder. I'd say we're really close right there. Nope, it opened up quite a bit. Why did it do that? So we're gonna I must have moved it. Alright, we got about right what you want, Jared. We're gonna yep. That right there is about the right exact torques. We got a tiny bit of play there. So through all of my years of using my calibrated fingers and my oh man, this was a new gasket too. I hope it didn't get tore up. What the what? Oh, we're in the valve spring. So there we go. This is my inspection noises. Alright, we're good. We're good. But this stuff was, this motor had to be installed on this machine here because the fellow that owned it said he checked his oil, did his oil and all that, but it come out, there wasn't enough in there and it was black as paint. So what we'll do now is I set the valve cover gasket on the valve cover and run 2 bolts through the gasket, and then you want to kind of move kind of quickly so that you don't dump a lot of oil everywhere. The oil just didn't have time to really go all over the place. But if you can't, you can't. Sometimes I don't, or something it gets all over and I gotta wash this machine anyway. And there's a big old covered box basically that goes around everything on this mower. So now you don't want to go too crazy tight with these because they're not the strongest material of steel, and that gasket is paper, which this one didn't originally come with a gasket. This one was siliconed on, but the silicone always leaks too. I'd rather do a gasket, that way I can just swap it out when if it does start leaking, or when it starts leaking, just be done instead of keep on, clean it. Clean it and clean it and clean it with some razor blades and cut your finger off. And I did my thumb a while back. It's healed up pretty good, but cleaning off a valve cover gasket, jammed that razor blade, just went right into my finger. It hurt, made me mad. But that's what you do, and we should start a lot easier too. It wasn't starting super easy, and it's kind of backfiring and stuff. So let's see what we got now. Yes, sir. That's what it was. No, and it's not near as rattly. It's not really as, because you'll hear a little rattle and tick if you pay attention. But hey, that's how I do it. I just put my back fat on the muffler, and it's hot. But that's the end of this video for Blind Guy Garage.